A girl's harrowing hot air balloon ride turns into a fight for survival as she and a companion face near-death experiences and ultimately work together to overcome seemingly insurmountable odds. The girl was still fast asleep, but her body was slowly sliding downwards, and beneath her was a 10,000-meter drop. Falling from this height would leave nothing but scraps. She sensed something was wrong and woke up with a start, but it was already too late, and to her surprise, her pupils instantly dilated. She abruptly sat up and desperately grabbed onto a rope, her heart pounding. Only then did she realize she was 10,000 meters in the air, and the only thing preventing her from falling was the rope in front of her. She tried to call for help from the man, but he was curled up in the basket, not uttering a word. To make matters worse, the ice on the rope was slowly melting, and the girl was gradually slipping downwards due to the slickness. Falling from this height would leave nothing but scraps. She frantically swung her legs, trying to gain leverage to get back. With constant effort, she finally got closer to the basket. The girl used all her strength to kick off, sending her body flying away. Finally, using the momentum, she reached the rope. The girl stared intently at the man in the corner, and with every ounce of strength she had, pulled herself into the basket. Before she could catch her breath, she crawled toward him, calling out to him again and again, but it seemed it was too late. The girl couldn't believe it and slowly moved closer. He had no heartbeat. Just as she was about to despair, the man miraculously woke up. He looked at the girl's battered hands and the hot air balloon, which had returned to normal. She knew he had climbed to the top of the balloon and closed the valve. The two survivors excitedly discussed their future, but before long, they suddenly noticed that the snowflakes that had been falling were now still, and eventually, they even started floating upwards as if by magic. The girl then realized that it wasn't the snow that was the problem. It was clearly that the hot air balloon was descending too fast, catching up with the falling snowflakes. At this speed, they were sure to be smashed to pieces. She yelled at the man to throw things out, sandbags, the rescue rope. In this life or death situation, no matter how important something was, it had to be thrown out. Eventually, they even threw out some of the heavier coats, but the hot air balloon's descent speed only increased. The basket was now empty. Seeing that they were about to die, the man told the girl to climb onto the ring, and he followed with a dagger. He was going to cut off the heaviest part, the basket, hoping that would slow them down. As the man worked faster and faster, the basket was cut off piece by piece until only 2 ropes remained. Seeing the ground getting closer and closer, the man became even more anxious. Suddenly, he lost his balance, and they almost fell. The girl hadn't expected that this usually mild-mannered scholar would actually be so reliable at such a critical moment. As the last rope was cut, the hot air balloon's speed gradually decreased, but the experienced girl knew it wasn't enough. The speed was still too high. They couldn't survive such a fall. To the man's surprise, the girl resolutely stood on the edge of the iron ring. She was going to risk her life to give the man a chance to live. The man broke down and told her to stop, but he couldn't stop the girl, who had made up her mind. At the crucial moment, he looked at the balloon and suddenly realized something. Without explaining to the girl, he shouted, "Either we both don't die, or we live together." Before the girl could react, he grabbed the rope securing the balloon and cut it with a single stroke. The hot air balloon instantly turned into a parachute.